What's up, everyone out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, the world in general? Welcome to another edition of Musings with MGL. I am, of course, your host, MGL. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about braces, stabilization braces, SIG braces, one-arm braces, pistol braces, whatever language you want to use. We all know what we're talking about. But before we get into it, I'd like you to do me a favor. If you like my content, you like what I have to say, please click the like button and click the subscribe button and the share button. I'm up to around somewhere like 700 subscribers. Not a whole lot, but I'd like to keep growing the channel and maybe get up to 1,000 subscribers this year. So if you like what I have to say, please like and share, comment, smash the notification bell, ding ding, so you know when I post new content, and hopefully you like what I have to say. So today we're going to talk about stabilization braces, and basically I'm going to kind of talk a little bit through an article here. They're from our friends over at Truth About Guns. Great website, great place to go for your information about firearm stuff. I'll put the link in the description below. But basically the ATF has published a bunch of rules that it plans on implementing sometime here in the summer of 2022. So somewhere around June, July, August, a lot of these rules are about ready to go into effect. So they're just kind of putting everybody on notice and publishing what those rules are going to be. So the important one in this this article right now on Truth About Guns, again, I'll put the link in the description below, kind of goes through all the different stuff that they're about ready to do, because they're dealing with everything from receivers to calibers to pistol stabilization braces, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm going to talk about this video here today, if you scroll through here, I'm going to give you kind of a rundown because they synopsis it real well, and I'm going to give you a quick little synopsis and then tell you what my thoughts on the matter are. So the main issue about these braces is, as you see here, sometime in June, ATF's new definitions and regulations will go into effect for the receivers, silencers, and other categories, and sometime in August, the rules will go into effect for pistol stabilizing brace equipped firearms. On that note, I'd like to make something clear because there's a lot of confusion out there. These new rules will not make pistol braces illegal. It will not ban them. In fact, it doesn't apply to the braces themselves at all, as ATF cannot directly regulate this accessory because for them its legality exists in how it is or isn't used. As a standalone item, it's completely legal to make, sell, and buy. These new regulations apply to the configuration of the complete firearm on which a brace is used. ATF can't rule on the brace, but they can rule on a complete firearm. What will be restricted here is how you can accessorize a pistol that's equipped with a brace. That whole ridiculous point system related to things like optics, bipods, weight, length, caliber, and other factors. ATF will look at the gun as a complete, as configured unit, and through these guidelines and through that points system will determine if it's a pistol or if the manufacturer or end user configured it in such a way that it's allegedly intended to be a rifle, and therefore a short barrel rifle subject to the National Firearms Act. Okay, so what does that all mean? Here's what it means. The ATF is going to treat these pistol firearm braces, the pistols with the braces on them, as pornography. And what do I mean by that? There's a famous phrase in the legal community when it comes to pornography that the Supreme Court coined when they started hearing pornography cases in like the 60s, and their statement was this: "I'll know it when I see it." In other words, the Supreme Court could not come up with a definition that says this is definitely pornography and this is definitely not pornography. So what they said was, we'll know it when we see it, which basically means you look at the end product and decide whether it is pornography or not pornography. So the ATF is applying that same standard here to pistol braces. In other words, they can't say that this is definitely illegal with a pistol brace and this is definitely legal with a pistol brace. What they're saying is they're going to look at the firearm, the end product, and determine whether the end product is a rifle or a pistol. So you would have to send them your product, your pistol that you manufactured or created, or let's say you're arrested for possession of a short barrel rifle, then the agency would send that rifle up to the ATF, and the ATF will look at the entire rifle, and they will use a point system to determine if your pistol is a pistol or if it's a rifle. So they will assign points to things like optics, caliber, grips, barrel length, all those kind of things, and they will add those points up. And when it gets to a certain number of points, basically, it's a rifle and no longer a pistol. but you can't find that out until after you've basically created your rifle or pistol basically on the back end. Now theoretically you could submit all of these, you could try and submit all these things ahead of time to try and get pre-approval, but as you'll see down here in the next line, it says, for this same reason, the ATF stopped providing technical rulings on braces and similar accessories. A complete firearm must be submitted to the technical branch if a user or manufacturer wants ATF's opinion on whether or not it's a pistol or a rifle. So you can't even, the manufacturers, if you recall in the day, would actually send their braces to the ATF and say, give us a ruling on this. Well, the ATF can't do that anymore because, again, it's not the brace, it's how it's put on the rifle. So if the company sends the pistol brace to the ATF with a certain configuration, the ATF may say that's a pistol, but it's only for that configuration. It's not a blanket ruling that says that brace doesn't convert anything to a rifle, because it all depends on what optics they put on the rifle, on the pistol when they send it in, the foregrip, all that kind of stuff. So as ridiculous as it sounds, you basically have to create your short barrel rifle and get it approved on the backside, which of course nobody's going to do that. And if you already have a pistol with a brace on it and an optic and all those other things, you may currently be, as of August when the law goes into effect or the rule goes into effect, because it's not a law passed by Congress, it's a rule passed by a bureaucratic administration, then you can instantaneously be turned into a felon because you may have enough points on the setup that you already created years ago when everything was legal, and now all of a sudden it's illegal. You won't know unless you ship that entire firearm in and have them do all the measurements and do all the point system, and then they will tell you whether it's a rifle and needs a stamp or whether it's a pistol and you can get it back. And what happens in a lot of cases is, obviously a lot of people aren't going to do that. What happens is, because I had a case myself here with in our local jurisdiction where I defended a guy where they found a pistol, AR pistol in his car with a SIG brace on it, and the local law enforcement were convinced it was a short barrel rifle. So what they did was they arrested him, charged him with it, and they sent it off to the ATF to go over it and determine whether it was a short barrel rifle. And they created a nice little report that says, it actually said that it was a short barrel rifle. Thankfully, I was able to get the local prosecutors to drop the charge because of all the confusion that was going on about braces at the time, and we presented them with the different letters from the agency and everything else like that, so they realized that it was too confusing to figure out, so they dropped the charge. But the ATF at that time, and this was almost 2 years ago before these the rules even came up, did a report on it and did the same thing and said because of the barrel length, because of the optic on it, because of everything on it, they said it was a short barrel rifle. So this point system that they've already been doing internally, I know personally they've already been doing that internally with firearms that were sent to them, but it wasn't a published rule that everybody knew that that's what they were doing. That's why they weren't really prosecuting people under it. But now they are. So you can have a choice. You can send in your thing ahead of time, see if it gets approved. You can wait and see if you get arrested, and then the law enforcement will send it in and get approved. But you're not going to, I don't believe. And when you scroll through this article, again, I'll put the links in the script below, they actually take you to the actual page where the point system is laid out. I don't necessarily believe that you're going to be able to sit at home and read their thing and say, okay, I can buy this optic, or I can buy that grip, or I can do this or that, and put it together and say, well, I think I'm good because it's underneath their point system. I don't think you're going to be able to do that. I think they are creating this specifically to give so much confusion out there that people aren't going to be willing to do that, so they're just not going to buy the braces, because you're going to have to send it off to the ATF for them to go through their point system and generate one of those reports that says whether it's a rifle or a pistol. So that's where we're at with these stabilization braces, folks. The braces themselves, unlike the bump stocks when they made a rule that said those are bright line illegal, these are not illegal. Again, they're not going to regulate them. They can't do anything with it, but they're going to know it when they see it. So if you take it and put it on your pistol, you are now advised, or you will be in August when these rules become published, that what you are creating, depending on all the other accessories and stuff you put on that, could convert your pistol into a illegal short barrel rifle that requires a tax stamp. And the onus is going to be on you to send that in to the ATF to get a ruling on that. Otherwise, if you get pulled over, if you get caught with it, if you're shooting at the range one day and some officer or an off-duty ATF agent or whatever walks up and says, "Hey, let me see your stamp," you're going to have to explain what's going on with your rifle. And so there's going to be a lot of litigation over this, I'm sure. I expect a lot of lawsuits to be filed after these rules come out. I expect people who start getting arrested and charged with these things to be challenging the rules and stuff through their appeal process in their criminal case, etc. And it's going to be an interesting situation. But that's your update on stabilization braces. Again, go see the guys at truthaboutguns.com. It's a great website to get your information from. Please like and share and subscribe if you can. Stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, carry on.